Hello guys, welcome to this B2 First certificate, that's FCE listening paper video course. In this lesson we're going to be focusing on part 1 of the listening paper. So you'll learn the best tips, technique and strategy to use for part 1 of the listening paper, and we'll also look at some real practice examples for you to use these strategies. So part 1 is called multiple choice. Let's just remind ourselves quickly. There are 8 questions in part 1 on 8 different topics. So you need to listen to 8 different people or 8 different conversations. You have 3 options to choose from. You have no time to read through the questions before the listening begins. And so this part's going to be testing our ability to listen for general details, more specific details, function, purpose, attitude, people's opinions, what they think, agreement, etc. Okay, so let's go to my first tip. You should read through all the questions and underline the key parts. So just when it's about to begin, just when text 1 is about to begin, read the question, ignore the A, B and C. Don't look at A, B and C, just read the question and underline the most important words. Should only take a couple of seconds. So, we can practice this. If you go to this web page here, if you type this in to your internet browser, for example Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox, or Safari or Internet Explorer or another internet browser, you maybe need to pause this video now and type this into your web browser. Hopefully if you've done that, you will see a page which looks like this. And then if you scroll down this page, you see something which says format of the exam. And this is a table here. In this table there is a listening section. And I'd actually like you to ignore the sample paper and just click this button, audio files. And if you click on audio files, a folder should download to your computer. Zipped folder like this. And you need to open this folder and then unzip it so you can access the files, and inside you'll see several documents looking like this. So most of them are PDFs, but we also have an MP3 format in there. But what I'd like you to do is just to open this one. So sample paper 1, listening V2. And if you open this document here, you will see a page which looks like this. Listening sample test 1. And I advise you to read through the instructions to candidates. So pause this video now for a minute and read through this, because it will be really useful. You'll know what to expect in the exam. And when you're ready, press play. Okay, so hopefully you've done that. And we can have a look at part 1. On page 2, you have part 1. And what I have done is I have actually copied this across into my presentation here. And I don't know, it might be easier for you to read it here rather than in my presentation. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is to quickly read question 1 and then underline the most important words in the question. So underline the most important words in this part of the question here, And do the same thing for number 2. And it should only take about 5 seconds for each question to do this. So press pause now, and when you're ready, press play. Okay, so hopefully you've done that. Now we can have a look at the words which I underlined. So in number 1, I underlined why and cooling. Why cooling? That's all I need to know what I need to listen for. Why cooling? And for number 2, the centre should. Centre should. Just by underlining those couple of words for each, I now know what I'm listening for. Centre needs to do something, centre should, and why is somebody calling? Why calling? That's really useful for helping you focus on the answer. Then, time for my second tip. Some words from the listening deliberately try to distract you from the correct answer. These are called distractors. And to avoid these, my suggestion is not to look at A, B, and C. Cover the A, B, and C options with your hand until you have listened to the entire passage. Don't look at A, B, and C. Just listen and look at the question and try to come up with the answer. Then, after the listening, and before looking at the options, you need to decide, what do I think is the answer to this question? And then you can look at the A, B, and C options and see if one of the options is more similar to what you thought was the answer. This is a great strategy that I use with all of my students, and all of them find it really, really useful. So let's practice this. What I'd like you to do is to go back to this listening document here which I showed you, looking at page 2, and then go back to the folder where we downloaded the documents and open the MP3 file. That's this file here. And then once you've opened it, press pause and come back to my presentation. So, what you need to do is to listen to the audio track part 1, extract 1, one time. Just looking at the question here, and then write down what you think is the answer to the question. So listen, you can press play now on that separate audio track. You can press play, listen to the audio track one time, and then press pause and try to write the answer to this question here. So pause this video now, do that exercise, and when you've done that, press play, and we'll continue. Okay, so hopefully you've done that. Hopefully you listened to extract 1 and wrote down what you think was the answer without looking at the A, B, and C options. And I did it too. And this is what I wrote down. For question 1, I wrote down, asking if she wants to go on holiday. Why calling? Asking if she wants to go on holiday. Now let's look at the A, B, and C options. Okay. So, just looking at A, B, and C, I think that my answer is most similar to B. She's asking if she wants to go on holiday, she's asking her to do something, she's inviting her to do something, she's issuing an invitation. So then, what I'd like you to do is see if you have the same answer, and every time in the listening exam you get to listen twice to each extract. So now you can go back to the audio track, which again you can open from this folder we downloaded earlier. Open this, continue with the recording, or go back to the beginning and press play again. Listen to extract 1 one more time, and confirm your answer this second time when you're listening. So pause this video now, listen to extract 1 for a second time, and then press play. Okay, so hopefully you've done that. And on my listening for the second time, I can confirm what I thought, that B is the correct answer. Now this is a fantastic strategy to use in the exam. And what you need to do is to practice doing this a lot more times, because in the exam they play extract 1 and then they play it again immediately after. So you don't have as much time in the exam as what we had here. But if you practice this, you get into this routine, using this strategy, it's a really good way to prepare yourself when you're in the exam, and you'll know exactly what to do to find the best answer and to avoid those distractors. So, this is your homework. You should complete the sample paper 1, which is this document here that we downloaded. So complete sample paper 1, just part 1 for now, because we're going to look at part 2 of the tips and technique in the next lesson. So for now, just complete part 1, which is these 8 questions here, using the strategy that I've taught you in this lesson. So underline the keywords in the question, cover the A, B and C answers, listen to the audio track 1 time, write down what you think is the answer, look at the A, B and C options, think, okay, is it more similar to A or C or B or C? Listen to the audio track a second time, confirm your answer. Okay, and I will write the answers for these questions in the description with this video, but you can also find the answers if you go back to this folder. There are several files in this folder, and one of them is called answer keys. And if you open the answer keys, you will see a document which looks like this, but you have to make sure that you're looking at the listening one, because there are a few different ones in here. So you need to scroll down, find where it says listening sample paper 1, and here we have the answer key. So you can check your answers like that as well. Okay, and what I'd also like you to do is to download some practice listening samples from YouTube. You should listen to these when you're walking and driving around, and also when you're at home, and practice using this strategy that I've taught you again. So doing it more and more times helps you to get quicker and quicker at this strategy. So here's an example that you could type this into your internet browser and you'll find a listening sample, but there are lots of first certificate listening samples on YouTube. So if you just type into YouTube, for example, first certificate listening sample paper part 1, you will find lots of useful examples, and normally the answer keys are written in the description below the video. So make sure you have the answer key in the description below the video as well. Okay, and I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you did enjoy it, and you'd like to practice more of these types of lessons for the listening or any other part of the exam with me, you can book lessons with me by going to this website and completing the form. And I will send you a reply email when I receive this form as quickly as I can. Okay, and in the next lesson we're going to be focusing on part 2 of the listening paper for B2 First. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.